Just before Christmas 2023, Burundi's president called for gay people to be stoned, describing them as a curse on the nation. Headlines like these paint a grim, one-dimensional picture of this small, landlocked country, but they don't show the faces of the people who live there, or the quiet dignity of their daily struggle. To understand Burundi, you must look past the pronouncements of its leaders. This is a country of immense beauty and profound challenges, where hope and hardship are locked in constant battle. The world often sees only poverty and turmoil, but nearly 14 million people call Burundi home. What is life actually like for them? What does it mean to build a future when your present is so uncertain? This is a journey into the heart of Burundi, a place of paradoxes. We'll explore the immense difficulties people face, but also the strength of the human spirit that endures. These are not statistics. They are parents, children, and neighbors, fighting for a better life against overwhelming odds. Their story deserves to be told and heard. Life in Burundi is a lesson in scarcity. Around 80% of the population are farmers, yet food insecurity is nearly double the sub-Saharan average. Most families grow just enough to feed themselves. A bad harvest or a sick child can push them from poverty into desperation. In 2025, Burundi remains the world's second poorest nation. Inflation is projected to soar to nearly 40%, making essentials like beans and rice even harder to afford. Less than 5% of the population has electricity. When the sun goes down, most of the country is plunged into darkness. This lack of power is a fundamental barrier to progress, trapping the economy in a cycle of dependency on agriculture. Access to clean water and sanitation is critically low, creating a constant threat of disease. For young people, the future can look incredibly limited. Education is a luxury, and jobs outside farming are rare. The dream is simple: enough food, health for your family, a small measure of security. But even these modest hopes are becoming harder to achieve. The daily grind is relentless, a battle against forces outside one's control, from global economic pressures to the changing climate. For many, survival itself is the daily struggle. The world of smartphones and digital connectivity feels a million miles away. Burundi is on the front line of the global climate crisis. Ranked among the world's most climate-vulnerable nations, climate change here is a destructive force reshaping daily life. Since 2018, rising temperatures on Lake Tanganyika have caused heavier, more persistent rainfall. The result? Catastrophic flooding. In 2024, El Niño-driven rain submerged entire communities, forcing nearly 100,000 people from their homes. In many areas, the water never recedes. Neighborhoods become permanent extensions of the lake. Gatumba, near the Congo border, is a prime example. Its streets underwater, homes decaying in stagnant brown water. Families are trapped in a cycle of displacement and despair, forced into crowded camps with limited resources. The psychological toll is immense: memories, livelihoods, and stability washed away. The government, overwhelmed and under-resourced, can't manage a crisis of this scale. Humanitarian organizations and communities themselves are left to respond. People adapt as best they can, but the floods are a stark warning for Burundi. The climate crisis is an existential threat. It compounds every other challenge the country faces. In the flooded neighborhoods of Bujumbura and Gatumba, canoes have replaced cars. Marie, a mother of 5, lives in a temporary shelter but paddles back daily to her submerged home, salvaging what she can. Children wade through contaminated water to reach the few remaining classrooms, risking disease. Outbreaks of cholera and severe diarrhea are common, a direct result of floodwaters mixing with sewage. Farmers have lost their fields, and small business owners have seen their shops washed away. Jean, a fisherman, now paddles his canoe over what used to be the main road, trying to catch enough fish to feed his family. "The lake gave us life," he says. "Now, it has taken everything." Despite devastation, acts of community persist. Neighbors help each other build raised platforms, share food, and operate canoe taxis. But resilience is being tested to its limits. People are exhausted, displaced multiple times, and desperate for a permanent solution. They want a chance to rebuild on dry land, but for now, they are trapped, living a life on the water they never chose. The sense of loss is everywhere, but so is the determination to endure. The floods have changed everything, but not the will to survive. In Burundi, hope floats, sometimes literally. In Burundi, speaking your mind can be dangerous. The ruling party tightly controls the political landscape, with the Imbonerakure Youth League enforcing its will. Human rights groups document harassment, intimidation, and even killings of opposition members. A new electoral code introduced high registration fees, effectively sidelining opposition candidates. The media faces threats, arrests, and restrictive laws, silencing independent voices. For ordinary citizens, this repression discourages participation and fosters powerlessness. The hope for genuine democracy has faded, leaving little room for debate or accountability. Power is concentrated, and challenging it comes with real risk. The government's control extends deep into private lives, often targeting the most vulnerable. In 2024, authorities enforced a campaign for moral and Christian order, evicting hundreds of unmarried couples and separating children from mothers. Women and girls face systemic challenges: high rates of child marriage, limited access to resources, and underrepresentation in power. LGBT people face criminalization and open incitement to violence from the highest levels of government. These actions force marginalized communities further into the shadows, living in constant fear. The government blocks independent oversight, leaving few places for protection. For women, children, and sexual minorities, rights are fragile, subject to the whims of those in power. Personal freedom is a daily struggle. Though the civil war ended in 2005, Burundi's security remains fragile. In late 2023 and early 2024, attacks by the armed group Red Tabara killed dozens, especially near the border. The government accused Rwanda of supporting rebels, escalating regional tensions and closing the border. This disrupted trade and separated families, adding hardship for border communities. Grenade explosions in Bujumbura spread fear, destabilizing public confidence. The threat of sudden violence is a daily reality, a reminder of Burundi's unresolved past. Survivors still seek justice for past atrocities, but accountability is slow. Without it, the cycle of conflict and impunity continues. In a country facing overlapping crises, international aid should be a lifeline, but for Burundi, it's not enough. Humanitarian assistance is critically low, with the world's attention focused elsewhere. The humanitarian response plan is chronically underfunded, forcing agencies to make impossible choices. The US once covered 40% of Burundi's aid gap, but most projects were suspended, and no one has filled the void. For those displaced by floods or facing hunger, this means less food, fewer tents, and less medicine. The government blocks independent investigation, making it hard to verify abuses or hold perpetrators accountable. Legal processes for justice are slow and distant from people's immediate needs. For many, basic help is simply not coming. If you only look at the statistics, Burundi appears hopeless, but the most important part of the story is the extraordinary resilience of its people. This is a nation of survivors, people who find ways to endure and create moments of joy, even in hardship. In flood-ravaged communities, neighbors share resources and help rebuild. Women entrepreneurs stretch tiny amounts of capital to support their families. Farmers experiment with new crops to adapt to the changing climate. Young Burundians, despite limited opportunities, are eager to learn and build a different future. Their energy and optimism are a powerful antidote to despair. Life is hard, but it's also filled with moments of grace and humanity. The people of Burundi are defined not by suffering but by strength. The world often views Burundi through a simplistic, dehumanizing lens, but when you listen to the stories of its people, the picture becomes more complex and more inspiring. Burundi is not a problem to be solved, but a nation of people trying to live. The challenges are immense: climate change, climate change, poverty, repression, and instability. Real change would require a government that respects rights and an international community that provides sustained aid. But most of all, it requires us to see the humanity of the Burundian people. Their dreams are not so different from our own: safety, opportunity, dignity. The mother paddling through a flooded street, the journalist risking freedom, the young person learning a new skill. They are all fighting for a better future. As 2025 draws to a close, Burundi's story is not one of inevitable tragedy. It is a story of endurance and hope. The people of Burundi are not waiting to be rescued. They are striving for a better tomorrow. Their courage deserves our attention, and their story deserves to be told.